I went over it last night, and I think it's a really positive step in the right direction. But there are a few areas where I think perhaps it's lacking slightly and could do with a little bit more. So, for example, there was nowhere in the document that said better support for parents. I feel like parents are so integral, obviously, in the child's life that they need to be able to either access what their child is on online, or even, I suppose, like report on behalf of their child.
One of the other things they talk about is the social media companies somehow dialing down aggressive algorithms. Do you think that's open to interpretation? I mean, what does aggressive algorithm mean to you?
What I took from that is that it's going to prevent the algorithms from showing children harmful content. Like I say, I do think it is good, and it is a step in the right direction. How all of these things work, I'm not a tech expert, so I don't understand all of the ins and outs of this. And I suppose that the fact that they are planning on doing this, it is a good move. But I do think that it's not going to be possible to prevent everything that's harmful from being shown to a child. I think that there are going to be like windows of opportunity for children to access harmful content, and I've called for mobile phone companies to also develop a child-safe mobile phone for children. And I think that this is still really important to go alongside Ofcom's on the Online Safety Act, because it's taken a belt and braces approach then.
I think in some ways, Esther, you've hit the nail on the head there. You're not a techie, I'm not a techie. Lots of parents aren't tech literate in this. And that's the battle we've got, isn't it, between tech companies who know how to manipulate us with things like algorithms and the dopamine hit of picking up a mobile phone and getting a message on that someone's watched a video on TikTok. You've got that on one side, parents and children on the other who just want to live their lives in as harmless a fashion as possible. So do you think Ofcom is going any way to bridging that divide, or are they just hedging their bets in some way?
Like I said, I do think that they want to make the online world as safe as possible for children. I really do think that. I think that perhaps it isn't going far enough, and I think that it's going to be a mammoth task in tackling the social media companies, and that's why I just think that we need to kind of come together and work together, like government, Ofcom, mobile phone companies, parents, children, and we need to all come together and see what are the best possible solutions. Like this is one solution, and this is one step in the right direction, but I think that we need to do more. We need to look at all of the different areas and all of the possibilities.
Esther, I know a lot of people think you're doing this because of the two who killed Brianna, but Brianna's own experience of social media before she died was also upsetting, wasn't it? It was also harmful to her mental health.
Yeah, so that is the main reason why I'm campaigning for this, because as a parent I really struggled. I didn't realise that she was accessing sites that were promoting self-harm and were promoting eating disorders. I only found out that after she'd passed away. When Brianna was with us, she struggled with anxiety. Like I say, she was self-harming, she had eating disorders, and I didn't realise how much the online world was contributing to her illnesses, essentially. And I know how difficult it is being a parent. It was a struggle to monitor her phone. I felt that she was completely addicted to her phone. She was very secretive over what she was going on, and this is why I want things to be better for children and for children's mental health, but I also want parents to have that support too. And I think that is one thing that I said before, that the Online Safety Act is potentially missing, the support for parents. And like that to me is really important because I know how difficult it is.
It resonates with me. I've got 2 girls at school. The pressure to get TikTok, the pressure to get Snapchat. How do you tackle that peer pressure element? Because that's one of the biggest parts of this, isn't it?
I think it's not only for children, it's for adults as well. It's for parents as well. The peer pressure to when do we get our child a smartphone? Like if everybody else is getting their child a smartphone, then do we give our child a smartphone as well? And I think another thing that I would like there to be more research into what age is appropriate for social media use in children, because I don't think that the research is there. And I know that the age of 13 currently exists, but I think that is due to I think it was privacy laws from the USA from when the social media sites were set up, whereas we haven't actually looked into how it impacts I suppose emotional development and mental health. So that's another thing that I'd really like to see. Like from a personal point of view, I would like to see the age to be increased and to be enforced, so that we're again supporting parents.
Esther, do you think the social media companies really care, or do they care more about profit and shareholders?
I think that any big company like this, you're so far removed from the consumer or from the user that you kind of you must lose the humanity side of it, and I suppose that it all boils down to how much money you're making. I think that it's not about pointing fingers and saying that this person's wrong and that person's wrong. It's about how can we come together to make this better now. And I do think that there is a moral a moral responsibility, I suppose, for social media companies to think about the people that are using their platforms and to work closely with Ofcom and to comply with what Ofcom have are putting out there for them in order to improve life for their users, I suppose.
Look, Esther, just as we finish, I have to ask, parent to parent, people will be incredibly impressed that you're doing this, that you've got the energy to do this after what happened to you. I mean, how do you keep pushing on at this? What keeps you driven to make a difference here?
For me, it's what I went through with Brianna and her mental health, and just knowing that now that I think I've said this before, that until something tragic happens, you don't have a voice, and now I've got a voice. I'm going to continue to use that to make a change for other people. I want to improve the lives of young people, and I want to improve the lives of their families as well. And I've actually set up a community interest company, and I'm running 2 campaigns within the community interest company. And for me, that's Brianna's legacy. And if I can create this positive, lasting legacy for Brianna, then I'll keep going.